In this video, we'll take a look at how to conjugate the aorist active indicative. In order to do so, we use the augment, or the past time morpheme, the stem, the sigma, the connecting vowel, and the endings. Remember, our endings are nu, sigma, none or the movable nu, min, te, nu. Let's go ahead and get started. We begin with our augment, which is an epsilon. Then we add our stem, lu. And then we add our sigma. And we add our connecting vowel, which is an alpha throughout the paradigm, excepting the third singular. So alpha. And then our ending, in this case, we don't have one. So elusa. Then we, for the second singular, begin with our augment, epsilon, our stem, lu, sigma for the aorist, alpha for our connecting vowel, and sigma for our ending. Begin with the epsilon, then the stem, lu, sigma for the aorist, epsilon for our third singular connecting vowel, and then we can have the movable nu. For our first plural, begin with the epsilon augment, add our stem, lu, add sigma for the aorist, add alpha for our connecting vowel, add min for our ending. Second plural, epsilon for the augment, lu for our stem, sigma for our aorist, alpha for our connecting vowel, and te for our ending. Finally, our third plural will be epsilon for our augment, our stem will still be lu, sigma for the aorist, alpha for our connecting vowel, and nu for our ending. Here we have elusa, elusas, elusin, elusamen, elusate, elusan. Let's move on down to the verb blepo. We'll begin with our epsilon augment. Put our stem up there, which is blep. And then we'll add the sigma for the aorist, and our connecting vowel is an alpha. We have no ending. Now I'm sure you're thinking, or at least I hope you are, that something's wrong here. We have a P added to a sigma. And when that happens, the two combine or amalgamate and form what letter? C. Oops. Gotta find that letter. C. Edblepsa. Coming down to the second singular, augment, blep for the stem, sigma for the aorist, alpha for our connecting vowel, sigma for the ending. And again, P and sigma combine to form a C. From now on, I'm just going to go ahead and print ebleps instead of the P and the sigma separate. Epsilon for the augment, blep for the stem, but it combines with the sigma of the aorist, so ebleps, epsilon for our connecting vowel, and the movable nu. First plural, epsilon for our augment, blep, but it changes because of the sigma. So we have ebleps, alpha for our connecting vowel, min for our ending. Epsilon for our augment for the second plural, blep, combined with the sigma, is ps. Alpha for our connecting vowel, te for the ending. Third plural, we have, again, the epsilon for the augment. Blep is our stem, sigma for the aorist. Those two combine for our psi. Alpha for the connecting vowel, and then nu for our ending. We have eblepsa, eblepsas, eblepsin, eblepsamen, eblepsate, and eblepsan. Finally, we'll take a look at didasco. And this one can be a little tricky. So let's start off with our epsilon for the augment. The stem of our verb is didask. Oh wait, it's not. The true root of didasco is didak. And we'll add our sigma. And then we will add our ending, or our connecting vowel. In this case, there is no ending. And now we should be looking at this saying there is a kappa combining with a sigma. And that equals a xi. Ebidoxa. Epsilon for our augment for the second singular. And we have didak as our stem, sigma, alpha for our connecting vowel, sigma for our ending. We have to go back and correct the kappa sigma amalgamation to a xi. Third singular is an epsilon for the augment, didak for our stem, our connecting vowel, or our sigma. I apologize. This should be a sigma up here. And it probably should have been up in the previous one. Getting back, we had epsilon for our augment, didak for our stem, sigma for our aorist. We combine the key kappa and the sigma for a xi, not a j. Alpha is our connecting vowel. No, it's not. It's epsilon here. And then our movable nu. First plural, augment, didak for our stem, sigma for our aorist. The two combine to a xi. Alpha for our connecting vowel. Our ending is min. Second plural, epsilon for our augment, didak for our stem, sigma for our aorist. Kappa sigma combines for xi. Alpha for the connecting vowel, and te for our ending. Finally, we have the third plural, epsilon for the augment, didak for our stem, sigma for our aorist. Kappa sigma combines into our xi. Alpha for our connecting vowel, and nu for our ending. Our result is edidaxa, edidaxas, edidaksin, edidaksamen, edidaksate, edidaksan. And that is your aorist. active, indicative.